Hello again, everyone. This is George Packard with Family Lawn and Landscape. Today I want to talk a little bit about some of the business mistakes that I've made over the past. Just a few little key things I want to hit on for you. First off, one that really comes to mind I want to tell you about was a business that I bought out. It was a lawn care company that I bought out from a guy, supposed to have 150 accounts. Well, by the time all was said and done, even though I had went around, looked at the properties, he took me, not door to door, but we drove down the road and looked at them. Even though we had done all of that, when all was said and done, we have probably had about 75, 80 accounts that were actually legitimate accounts. And of those accounts, there were a lot of them that were priced too low to begin with. And I was sort of new coming into this, so I didn't realize, I guess, what was going on with all of that. But, you know, it was a mistake that I definitely learned from. And as far as, buying accounts from people, there was another one that came up that made me think about this also, which was, guy had about, I think he had 37 accounts, if I remember right. And we lost 30 out of 37 accounts in 1 month. We lost 30 out of 37 accounts in 1 month. Now, how could that even happen? How's that even possible, you would ask yourself? I know, because I asked myself this. How did that even happen? Well, turns out everyone loved this guy, and he did a ton of extras for him. He was always doing something extra for him. And I heard the guy mention that to me, and I thought, oh, well, that's really cool. So he's got a good, loyal base here, and that's a good thing. What I didn't realize was when he was coming in to actually mow the properties, every time he was there, he was doing something extra for him. And they always wanted him to do this. And when I refused to do something extra for them, just because, hey, this is time consuming. I can't take times 37 clients and do an extra 15, 20 minutes on every property and expect to make any money at this. Okay? So, therein lies the problem. We lost 30 out of 37 accounts. That was a waste of money for me to buy that guy out. Okay? It was a bad setup. So, anyway, another mistake is not keeping my prices up. Early on down in Florida, I would go down and try and be competitive, and I would go in for, X amount a month, and I thought, okay, I'm staying with this because that seems to be where the market is. Well, I come to find out that I should have been way higher than that, and instead of moving my prices higher right away, I kind of lollygagged around, drug my feet on it a little bit because I was new to the Florida market, new to the Florida business, and I didn't want to lose it. So that was a big mistake for me. I wasn't profitable. So now we're profitable on every single property. And we raised them. We raised them across the board. We raised them accordingly to how we have to get, where we have to be to hit our net profit on every property. Okay? So you got to hit your margins. You got to know where you have to be on there. So never go in and lowball. Always keep your prices up. That's another mistake that I made going in. I talked to guys today that tell me, yeah, next summer I'm going to raise my prices or this and that. The sooner you get on it, the quicker you start making money. Don't be afraid to raise your prices. Don't be afraid that everyone's going to leave you. They're not going to leave you, especially if they like your work. They'll pay you a little more because they know that you're worth it. Okay? So keep that in mind. Don't be afraid of that. Bidding HOAs. Homeowners associations. Here's something that kind of, all these things were coming to me last night, and I just jotted them down and I want to tell you about it. But bidding HOAs, I was always would get so excited about it because you're going in bidding these 300 and 400 house properties, communities, to where you're going to go in there and try and do it all, and you think, hey, this would be great. I'm picking up 400 accounts if I get this. So I would come in and I would try and bid it as cheap as I could to get it, and I still didn't end up getting them. And I was so frustrated by this. I mean, we do some today, but by far they are not something I want to bank on. I lost a lot of sleep on those properties. I gave them the utmost attention. I bent over backwards with my bids. I was just above and beyond kind to these people. And really, HOAs are ruthless. They truly are. They, if you can imagine coming into a homeowners association and mowing 400 properties and not have one single person bitch out of 400, never going to happen. Because I don't care how good you do, you could mow the lawns identical all the way around. Somebody's going to complain about it. There's a million headaches that go into that stuff. A million headaches. And not only that, they're always going to the board or the head people with their complaints. And then I would always take it personal like, how can we keep making these mistakes? Why is this always happening? Well, it wasn't the mistakes we were making. We were mowing everyone the same. We were doing the job the same. It's just that some people are pickier than other people, and it just goes on and on. So it's a snowball effect of hell on wheels. Hell on steroids. That's what it's like. So anyway, the point is, I used to waste a lot of time on it. I don't waste a lot of time on it anymore. We give them our price. We go in there. We'll Google Earth it. We'll drive around. We'll look at it a little bit, but we by far do not waste days and days on it like we used to. We used to go out and measure properties and all kinds of things, and absolutely was not worth it. Just not worth it. And what I mean by that is this too. I'd rather have 400 regular residential properties than I would have one HOA, because there's problems that come with that. Let's say you pick up that HOA. Now, if you have 400 in there and you have to hire, let's say you have to have a crew of 6 guys or 8 guys to take care of that property in a week. Okay, just throwing that out there. Okay. Now, you probably wouldn't need that. You probably need 6 guys, to take care of it. 5 or 6 guys, they could take care of everything. But now you had to hire those guys on. Now you've got the equipment all bought for it. You're good to go. Everything goes good. Well, all of a sudden, they get a complaint or you piss off one of the big shots in there, and now you lose the contract. So now you got to fire 5 guys, and now you have all this extra equipment that you bought. So you're really sticking your neck out. I would rather have 400 residential customers. I mean, the odds of 400 of them quitting you or leaving you at any given time are non-existent. That's not going to happen. I'm going to get into that in a second too, but that is, well, actually, I might as well just hit on it now. When we talk about going commercial versus residential, this is why I feel residential is where the money is, because it's where the safety is. It's where the safety of everything is. Commercial stuff, they're bidding that out every year generally, or every couple of years, possibly as long as every 3 years. But it's generally every year. They're getting hammered by lawn care guys that are giving them prices all the time. And if you win a commercial job, it generally means that you are the lowest bidder. So congratulations, you're a low bidder, and you got the work. Well, that's great if you can make the money. That's fine. But what happens when next year you got to bid it out again? Versus a residential customer, which generally, if you do a good job for them, you don't have to bid that out every year. That's your customer. Okay, they're going to stay your customer. So that's why I think it's important to stick with the residential side of things. It's nowhere near as volatile as commercial. And same thing with the HOAs. Those things are just a trip, man. I mean, you just can't please everybody. They're always bitching about something. And to have 400 accounts in there that you have to worry about all the time, it's a huge headache. It truly is. But don't get me wrong, 400 residential customers is a headache too, because you have a lot of people to deal with there. You still have 400 bosses, but